her friend? Do you care? Do I care? Has she ran away? Where did love go? Have you seen her friend? Do you care? Do I care? Has she ran away? Where did she go on a summer's day?
No, no, no.
Where did she stay on a winter's day? Where did she run to? Where did she hide? Who did she talk to? Did she just smile? Where did love go? Have you seen her friend? Do you care? Do I care? Has she ran away?
No, no, no.
Where did love go? Have you seen her friend? Do you care? Do I care? Has she ran away?
I'm in chains, you're in chains too. Our uniforms and you are uniforms too. I'm a prisoner, you're a prisoner too, Mr. Jailer. Oh, I have fears, you have fears too. I'll die, but you said will die too. Life is beautiful, don't you think so too, Mr. Jailer? I'm talking to you, jailer. Stop calling me a prisoner. Let he who is without sin be the first to cast the stone, Mr. Jailer. Mr. Jailer, man, you suppress all my strategies. You oppress every part of me. What you don't know, you're a victim too, Mr. Jailer. Oh, you don't care about my point of view. If I die, another will work for you. So you treat me like a modern slave, Mr. Jailer. I'm talking to you, jailer. Stop calling me a prisoner. Let he who is without sin be the first to cast the stone, Mr. Jailer. Mr. Jailer, man. You see, if you walking in the marketplace, don't throw stones. Even if you do, you just might hit one of your own. Life is not about your policies all the time, so you better rearrange your philosophies. I'm good to your fellow man. Stop calling me a prisoner. Let he who is without sin be the first to cast the stone, Mr. Jailer. Oh, I'm talking to you, jailer. Stop calling me a prisoner.
Thank you very much, Phyllis. Now that you've heard from one of our partners throughout the year, Women in Girls League Global would not exist without the support of the United States Agency for International Development. In my work coordinating this project, I have been privileged to enjoy the counsel and support of the USAID Kenya mission. And here to share some remarks is Monica Mkweri Azimi, who is the Deputy Director of the Democracy and Governance Program at the USAID Kenya Mission. Welcome, Monica.
Good afternoon. It's such a pleasure to be here today to celebrate with everyone the International Day of the Girl Child and to celebrate these wonderful, the amazing people that have been nominated for the awards today. So thank you all for coming. I'd like to appreciate the good work of all those who've went into making this possible and the work that everyone who's been nominated today has done to get nominated. I would also like to recognize all the colleagues around the room who've worked with USAID in the past, and thank you for your partnership. Our colleagues from the Ministry of Education and Rural Women's Peace Link and several other organizations here today are partners that we've been working with for a long time, and we really are excited that they have the ability to be nominated for these important awards. We'd also like to thank our other partners, such as IRI and others who've participated in this process, because we really feel like this is very, very important. So thank you all. We're really proud to see all the nominees who have been honored today for their efforts. And I really look forward to hearing the stories of all the nominees and what they've been able to accomplish and what their goals are moving forward in the future. I'd also like to congratulate all the male colleagues who were nominated today, because really the support of men is extremely, extremely important. USAID is very proud to partner with Women and Girls League Global, along with the Ford Foundation, the Independent Television Service, and CARE in this effort, to use documentary films, innovative technology, impact partnerships to promote positive media messages about women leaders. This partnership isn't just in Kenya. This is a global initiative that goes beyond Kenya, and I think that that's really important to remember. I'm part of something that is a global initiative. USAID is strongly committed to supporting the empowerment of women and girls. In particular, their leadership and participation in all aspects of life. And again, this is a global initiative. Women and girls empowerment is critical for the development goals that USAID is trying to achieve in Kenya. And I think we all heard when President Obama was here in Nairobi just a few months ago, he was very clear in his message. He said, "No country can achieve its full potential unless it draws on the talents of its people. And that must include the half of Kenyans," and then he said maybe more than half, "who are women and girls." He also went on to note that evidence shows that communities that give their daughters the same opportunities as their sons, they are more peaceful, they're more prosperous, they develop faster, and they're more likely to succeed. Kenya will not succeed if it treats women and girls as second-class citizens. President Obama was very clear in his message, and USAID supports the president in this initiative because this is a really important US government priority. Kenya has made significant progress in the areas of supporting women's empowerment. Today, there's an unprecedented number of women and youth in national and county offices through election and through nomination. As we see here today, around this room, women are leading in multiple sectors, including business, academia, and in their local community. In addition to supporting this initiative and other initiatives in media and communication, USAID has helped support other initiatives that work with women and girls empowerment in Kenya. We're in support of the process to advocate for inclusion of gender affirmative action. We're supporting entrepreneurship accelerators that focus on products that bring girls out of poverty. We're conducting leadership training for appointed and elected officials, elected women who are interested and who are currently in public office. And we're advocating at the county level to prevent and respond to violence against women. And this is just to name a few. I want you all to know that as we move forward, that as you're looking at your various initiatives and what you're trying to accomplish, know that the U.S. government, and in particular USAID, is here to support your efforts. Full and equitable participation of women and girls in public life is essential to building a vibrant democracy. Their participation results in tangible gains, including responsiveness to citizen needs by government, especially county government, increased cooperation across party and ethnic lines. We do know that women are very important as we look at peace building and the peace movement, and more sustainable peace and development. So let's honor and celebrate these nominees and guests and women and girls who are participating here today, so that together we can craft for them a future that their children will have that's full of hope and opportunity for all Kenyans. Thank you for giving me the chance to speak to you today and for inviting me to join you at this lunch. To all the nominees, once again, congratulations and good luck.
Thank you so much, Monica. We had a chance to put together some beautiful, beautiful prizes for our award winners. To my right and your left, you'll see these amazing, amazing trophies. But beyond that, one of the tools that we wanted to share with our award winners is the power of information, and especially the power of being digitally connected. Yesterday, our finalists who are here had a chance to get to know one another, and you can see they're already sitting together, and maybe they didn't know each other at the beginning of yesterday. So I'd like you, before you meet them officially, for the finalists to wave at all of us from wherever you're seated. So you can see these are our other and yet so important guests. Thank you so much. And what we did yesterday was to go through their own stories. And their stories could keep us here for days and days and days. And not because we would be bored, not because we would want them to stop talking, but because the ways that these women and men are challenging the narrative are nothing short of amazing. In the second portion of the day, we had a chance to start thinking about digital tools that can assist them in their work. It wasn't easy. It never is easy to take on new technology, especially for leaders who already give so much of their time and resources. But we're getting there, and we will support them with the tool that we developed yesterday together. And that was brought to us by Map Your World. And they shared a tool that will allow our finalists, all of them, to be able to map out the kinds of resources available in their communities, the kinds of issues that need to be raised way before we need to know the information. And so for anyone who has any questions about Map Your World, I'll be happy to share that information after this. A second tool that we'll be able to share with the winners and to make you more aware of is from Internews. Internews to us is a valuable partner in making sure that media and women in leadership are connected. We are especially privileged to have with us Brice. I will butcher your name. I'm sorry, Rambaum. So Brice is here on behalf of Internews, and he's the incoming director for Sub-Saharan Africa, to share a few remarks. Thank you.
Thank you, Josephine. and thank you, the Women Girls Lead Global, to invite Internews to participate in the Women in the Red Leadership Award. Internews is a media development organization. We've been working in Kenya since 2003 with a variety of projects, many of them funded by USAID, about media and HIV and AIDS to increase the quality of reporting on HIV and AIDS issues in the country. And of course, after what happened in 2007 and 2008, we had lots of training projects, especially targeting community and radio stations to report basically on conflict issues. I was, at the end of the day, I was the project manager for the projects that happened after post-election violence, and I've been working 5 years in Kenya, training lots of people, and I know some of you here. So it's a pleasure to be here in a different capacity. More recently, we also engaged in data journalism, and I think that's why Josephine knows us. There is a tool that is called Data Dredger, where we do a lot of data journalism, and some of these tools target especially women. So I invite you to go to the Internews in Kenya website and have a look at our data stories about women. Over the last 11 years, we had, of course, specific focuses on women and the media, including training women journalists on journalism best practices and storytelling, empowering women to become this is very important. I think that we really again debate around women issues. I remember vividly during the constitution referendum period, we had lots of roundtables and stories about the gains for women in the new constitution. That was a very important debate at the time. Maybe you have realized that I'm French because I have a strong accent. But in my time in Kenya, I can say that I have met fantastic women leaders and fantastic women journalists telling compelling stories about women issues. I can see here Violet Otindo, who can raise a hand. She has done fantastic stories, lots of them. It's even difficult to start from where do we start with you? You have produced hundreds of compelling stories about women. I also remember a story that we supported from Rose Odengo, who did a fantastic story about raped women in northern Kenya during the Shifta War. I remember Marie Yambo of KBC, who did stories about women and drugs in the coast, how they are affected by the drug issue at the coast. I could also tell the name of Marie Wagura of Lexiwakio, of Kentisoniach in Nakuru and Eldoret, who produced very difficult stories about women and girls after the post-election violence. So women are already doing quite a lot in the media in Kenya, but I would say that still there is a lot to be done. There is a lot to be done to achieve gender balance in the media in the country, and I'm talking about content and also about structures of the newsrooms. In Africa, you may know that only 10% of the editors are women. That is quite unbelievable. It's a very, very difficult figure. 10% of editors are women. And it's difficult also to see women voices in the media. Let's be honest, in Africa and sub-Saharan Africa, the media content is male-dominated. So I would welcome today's event. It's a very important step, but the road is still ahead. I would welcome the initiative Women in the Red. It's an excellent initiative to encourage and reward talented women who step up, especially for gender equity and for human rights. Thank you, and good luck to the nominees.
Thank you. One of the main reasons why we are here is also to think and tap into a lot of what we have in terms of connectivity and the tools that we have available. We talk a lot about connecting people who are in different spaces. And we at Women and Girls Global and in Kenya through the Women in the Red campaign took the challenge head on. you'll see the whole room is covered with enough equipment, and you are on camera. But the reason why you're on camera is because we challenged ourselves to develop this on live stream and to make it available online. So if there are people who you know would have loved to be here, but maybe they're sitting at an office desk enjoying lunch, direct them to the following link, bit.ly/women in the red. And they will be able to see you and I, our nominees and finalists, and our winners for the next hour and a half. bit.ly/women in the red. Our Twitter handle is @WomenGirlsLead. And we encourage you to share your insights on there. The platform you're using is called OV, and the OV live stream platform was developed by ITVS to allow people from around the world to share the same viewing. We've used it to screen powerful documentaries around the world, and we're now helping people understand who exactly forms a story about diverse women leaders and who exactly will shape the dialogue and the action around leadership in Kenya. So I welcome you to that. We've been talking a lot about who the finalists are, and we have actually had a chance to meet them, as I mentioned yesterday, but we'd like you to meet them too. So I'll welcome our media team to introduce them to you. For those of you who are standing at the back, I see a few ladies standing at the back. We have a table right here. If you make your way slowly to the front. Thank you. All right. Welcome. Wondering whether who's here and who's on the screen. Halima, you'll just wave. You don't have to talk too much today. Welcome, Halima. The light, we need a little less light on this side. Okay. Halima is one of our youngest finalists. And this is what she had to say yesterday. A big warm round of applause for Halima. Sarah? Sarah is sitting right at the back. Please stand and wave to us. Sarah is coming to us from Kilifi.
Playing football is not just for boys. As a girl, I enjoy that it allows me to be active and provide opportunity for me to interact with my peers. Sarah Mwikali Mulwa. Halima Sadiq, I refuse to give in to my problems. This attitude is what I share with other girls. We look forward, not backwards. Category, Rising Women in the Red over 20. Martha Chumo, my plans for the future are to take the web by tons. Veronica Wangari Simba. Veronica is here. Veronica, with my ID, I registered my company and was a CEO. From here, the sky is just the beginning. I can achieve anything. Category, 2/3 gender rule champion. Millie Odhiambo. We need to continue to agitate for the 2/3 gender rule. It is why we fought for a new constitution. Commissioner Winifred Lichuma. More women in political leadership results into gender-sensitive policies that cater for everyone, especially special interest groups. Honorable Rachel Kamweru. By harnessing the power of women's ability to network and action, I believe the 2/3 gender rule will become a reality. Under the category for male champion for women in leadership, Teddy Mwambire. Teddy's here. I believe as men, we should safeguard the need to understand women and girls. The world will be a better place. Ken Jiru. Many of us have stopped living. We just exist. Respect for ourselves and others is what we need to go back to. Category, Women in War and Peace. Sorry about that. Mary Chapwan Lagat. A woman is a manager, an advisor, and a decision maker. Fanis Kamoet. When women cry and speak to young men as their mothers, they pay attention. They listen. Grace Lolim. Women use words as their weapon, sometimes for good, sometimes for bad. I want to see them use their words for good. Beatrice Kimani. We should all stand up and speak out. We should not be compromised. Category, Women in Public Service. Senator Naisula Lesuda. I believe peace and sustainable development in our nation will only come when we work with communities. Leah Rotich is passionate about education. Honorable Gertrude Mbeyu. Women need to be confident, take up the challenge in spite of the hurdles. Truth is, we can do better than the other gender. Honorable Zipporah Kering. Women leaders must always speak up, not just because we were elected, but to encourage other women to stand. The category of outstanding contribution to women's leadership via journalism. Anne Jogu. Once a woman's story is told by the right people, in the right way, the world is changed. Mina Reeve. Hard work always pays off in one way or another. Never lose hope. Lilian Kaivilu. Digital space provides an uncontrolled platform to tell stories. I use this space to tell stories that matter to me, which may not make it to mainstream media. Category of lifetime achievement. Betty Sharon. We cannot address violence against women and girls without the men. They need to change for this to end. This is what Badilika is about. Mary Mlay. Mary's here, I think. Yes. When men fight, it's the women who suffer. By continuously engaging in dialogue, we can and will make a difference. Dr. Wanjiru Kamau Rottenberg. Once you bring diversity into the research sector, you start asking different questions. Women's perspective is important. Category of outstanding female mentor. Stephanie Muyamwende. I believe in fostering an active democratic citizenry that is well aware of their civil liberties. Gloria Ndekey. I'm a strong believer that women's economic empowerment is a strategy for gender equality. Irene Kendi. I believe in life we need to teach the young girls the rules of the game. Category of leader in climate change and the environment. Pamela Dio. Creating a network of youth mentors will help the long-term vision of creating an environmental resource center for the community. In the category for outstanding advocate for marginalized groups, Rosalind Opondi Ogwe. I work with those who have gone through the same experiences I have. That is my strength. Teresa Njoroge. Once you're incarcerated, you carry that tag for the rest of your life. I believe in second chances, one that allows for a clean slate. Masi Mogoregishunge. Disability is just an aspect of what I am, but not who I am. Category No Limits Breakthrough Leader. Stella Ruto. I have learned that if you don't speak up, you will continue being oppressed. But once you speak up, you earn respect. Speak up. Fatuma Kahindi. They said a woman couldn't become a mechanic. I was determined to prove them wrong. Now, I am a mechanic. Miriam Golo. I want to show young girls that sciences are not just for the boys. Girls too can excel. The opportunities exist in all sectors. Thank you.
I think we can give him a better round of applause than that. My goodness, such powerful words. I am so inspired. Gosh, I feel like I've not been doing enough even just with what I do. And I'm sure many of you have been inspired just as much. And to show you that there's so much diversity in this room, allow me to call upon a very amazing young lady. This young lady is a storyteller that uses film and music to tell real Kenyan, African, human stories. Her name is Corinne Kai. She has a performance for us. Corinne, if you could come up. Thank you. Give her a round of applause, please. As this is happening, your soup will be served. Please do enjoy an amazing cream of sweet corn and coriander soup.
Hello. So my name is Corinne Kahi. I'm a spoken word poet. And there's a piece that I'd like to share with you guys, and I hope you like it. Mahatma Gandhi said, "To call woman the weaker sex is a libel. It is man's injustice to woman. If by strength is meant brute strength, then indeed woman is less brute than man. If by strength is meant moral power, then woman is immeasurably man superior. Has she not greater intuition? Is she not more self-sacrificing? Has she not greater powers of endurance? Has she not greater courage? Without her, man could not be. If non-violence is the law of our being, the future is with women. Who can take a more effective appeal to the heart than woman?" So I start. I was never the smartest girl in class. I was never the prettiest. I was never the most popular girl. At that time, the only difference I knew between boys and girls is that boys were dirty and girls were clean, and it was okay. And Disney told me that one day the boys would become princes and I would be princess, and we would eventually become kings and queens, and I was waiting for my crown, and I waited until he came and bust my bubble. See, I was just 8 years old when he walked in and told me he was being made fun of by his friends because of being short, and he said, "At least I'm not as short as her." No, actually, at least I'm not a girl. See, I didn't understand what was so wrong about being short, and much less what was so wrong about being a woman, so I hit him. And then everyone ganged up on me and told me I was being unladylike. So I went to mom and asked her, was it wrong or unladylike for me to hit back? And she said, never use physical force to fight a mental battle. But I was 8 years old, so I didn't listen, and I started to fight. I realized I was actually pretty strong, and I used everything that I could be to try and be like a boy. You know, men were respect, men were honor, men were power, and us girls were just supposed to sit and wait for our Prince Charming in some castle just looking pretty, but I didn't want to be pretty. I wanted to be powerful. I liked the dirt. I liked playing around. I liked everything else that wasn't in the list of who a woman should be. See, my whole life was trying to build upon, trying to show boys that I was as strong as them and beat them at their own game, but I was doing a disservice to this wonderful body. You see, a woman is a full circle. Within her is power to create, to nurture, and to transform. The pillars of the house, the one who makes it home, the keeper of secrets, the binder of babies' wounds, the hands that wash and cook and clean and still maintain a perfect manicure. The one with wisdom enough to know to what extent to punish the child in love. The one who gathers food and buys clothes. Woman is sacrifice. Especially in this generation when new woman is educated and smart and has an 8 to 9 or 8 to 5 or has her own job. You see, we girls have too much flavor for us to be tasted by one spoon. We have too many layers for us to be judged by our first sight. So I'm no longer putting my head down on the things that make me a woman. Because even the blood that I shed every month is evidence of my strength to learn to let go and let dying things live my body. And there's that thing that between our legs that is the genesis of mankind. So value that scripture. Name it something holy. I'm sorry that I cannot water down myself and dissolve myself into your expectations of me. I'm so transparent, you can't help but see me. And by you expecting less of me, you are expecting less of God in me. Do not mistake my kindness for weakness, my boldness for fakeness, my submission for meekness. I am no longer entertained by the roller coaster of creating fake versions of me or using money to wear expensive clothes when I can't find how to wear my joy. A man should never be intimidated by a woman's strength. If he knows any better, he would know that if the pillar of the house is strong, then the house will stand. Why should I apologize for taking control? If we are to be treated like queens, then we should act like a queen and take charge. A queen has a monarchy, and a monarchy is more than one person. So I hang around good people and lionesses because bad company corrupts good morals. We're queens who are not afraid to stand, who understand that being in charge is not lack of submission. Because the word pretty is just unworthy of everything that I will be. I'm much more than that. They say the greatest wars was started because of women, but that was mostly because of sex. But I say that women have been fighting more way before the evidence of this today is proof of how much we fought to get to this place as women. Celebrate yourself. Thank you.
Wow. Oh my goodness. All that from that little girl you see there, Karine Kai. Beautiful, beautiful said. And when I think about some of the words she just spoke about, see, I grew up in a family with 3 brothers. I was the only girl for 10 years and the 4th born. And guess what I wanted? I wanted to be like my brothers. So I tried everything to be like them. Let me put it to you this way. We were in hospital every week because I would be in between their fight. A karate chop here, because I was the test dummy as a girl, the little dummy who would come and play with us, and we would show her something, then my brothers would do that. And you know, growing up in that situation, I had to become tough. I'm sure there are many of you who grew up among boys, and it wasn't easy. Man, oh God, it was, hey, I had a nickname every day. So you can count how many nicknames I had. And when I think about those guys now, they made me stronger. And let's not even kid ourselves. Sometimes the things that we think make us weak make us absolutely strong. So for whatever the fight is, for whatever it was that you went through to get you to where you are an inspiration. That message is what I'm getting from Karine, and I hope you're getting the same. We have another amazing performer with us today. And this lady is also a spoken word artist and a film production student at Kenyatta University. Her name is Gladys Mwende, and she wants to share with us a piece of what she believes women are. Gladys Mwende, karibu sana. A round of applause for her.
Hello, everyone. You're having a good time? So I'm going to share a piece about who a woman is to me. Yeah? Okay. Here. Yeah? Okay. Sorry about that. Yeah, so I'm going to share a piece about who a woman to me is, and I'm going to tackle it to who a boy first is, because they are also humans and we can't leave them out. This piece is called Woman's Child. He has a whole lesson up in the attic. He still runs the world across his axis. He's just a boy who is now a man at night. He throws bullets at the aristocratic. This is definitely not what his mother taught him, but inside he is weak and fragile. Just a woman's child who grew up looking for a manly man, someone to look up to, not down to him, so he doesn't struggle now to be Mr. Right. He goes with Mr. Right now. He closed his ears to the voices of the world. But to him, he is just a woman's child who has tattoos as bruises in his skin that act as transaction of being doped up. So abuse and innocent death not click in his head because he has hardened his heart and has ice inside. He is a walking corpse. But he's a woman's child who tried to make it and ended up in a limb surrounding with peers adding up the stupid wisdom of you must get rich or die trying. So when his mother prays and tells him a holy word, he's like, you will save my soul. He's caught up in Jezebel clothes. So when his mother whispers a prayer to him, he looks back and remembers that everlasting love and a wanting heart that he could ever had. So he empties his gun and throws the bullets. He remembers that face of a woman as she squeezes herself in the ruined walls with fear and terror. He remembers her and wipes her tears with his thumbs and says, you see, I am a woman's child too. And to be a woman, you have to learn how to endure pain. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Absolutely power, power, power coming from these young ladies. I think it's such an honor to imagine that somebody as young as these two girls who've been here, I don't know their exact ages, but just by looking at them, I can tell you they're still quite young, probably under 20 or early 20s, and that they still can sit back and not be clouded by the whole world's crazy things. I mean, so many things happen around us these days. And a lot of times, young ladies are the first to get confused by social media, by lots of TV things. But to find a girl who can stand up and actually recognize her power as a woman, to me, is absolutely amazing. I think they need another round of applause. And now the moment we have all been waiting for, to find out who of our lovely nominees get to walk away with these amazing awards. This is that time that we have been waiting for. And to just get us into this session, I am going to call upon Josephine to come up and just do a brief intro and welcome our chief guest today so we can get this show on the road. Karibu, Josephine.
So once we had an idea that we wanted to actually share an award and recognize the fantastic, fantastic ladies who are the champions really of women in the awards. I've mentioned that we've been partnering together with the USAID and Ford Foundation and Care Kenya. Combined network reaches over 1 million people. So when we sent out a call, people responded. And we received over 80 people telling us your stories, for those who are here and you've had a chance to hear from them. But the ones who are not here, who are still working tremendously in so many sectors, also caught our eye. We had a chance to travel the country through the memories of those who know you and those who don't but have been touched by your efforts. Through people who have had their school fees taken care of, people who have been fed, people who have been mentored, people who have been challenged both in Kenya and in the region by your efforts. Some of them asked us not to say exactly who nominated them because, as you well know, someone who is leading never really knows how far their impact reaches. So the organizations that are represented here who waved at you earlier helped us look and search. This is not a conclusive search for all the women who are leaders in Kenya, but it helps us and helps you understand just how at the tip of the iceberg we really are. And at this time of looking at the different applications that came in, we asked ourselves who could be our keynote speaker and who could really lead us into this session of award giving. And we approached Honorable Martha Karua, and she was kind and gracious to accept our invitation. So if you can give her a warm round of applause and welcome her to share her remarks. Thank you. Welcome. I will ask those who are on standby, the finalists, we will call you shortly. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm very delighted to be here today. And I was wondering what it is about women in red. I couldn't find red in my wardrobe. This is the closest I could come to red, which is red value added. It's red plus. But I thought that just a shade of red will help me identify with this occasion. But when I met Josephine, I was able to learn about this event, the diverse backgrounds of the nominees, and we have just seen some of that. And it really appealed to me because we have women in all walks of life doing great things daily, which are never discovered by anyone. And I thought this is very encouraging to have women from diverse backgrounds recognized for the work that they are doing. So I was asking myself, who is a leader? And others have said a leader is a person who influences others towards the achievement of a goal. And leadership has 3 P's. It's about people, it's about the person doing the thing, and it's about the purpose, the goal for which they are leading. So the women gathered here today are working with people towards objectives of improving the lives of the communities they live in. And I also remember, what times are these? These are times when we've all been raised in a patriarchal setting. Meaning as you grow up, you have heard so much about what a woman's place should be, about which way a woman should go. Even as a little child, as you play, if you take certain games, you'll be christened a tomboy. You are already being told the no-go zones for a woman. You've heard people discussing about other women, that woman shouldn't be doing A, B, C, D. So women are straight-jacketed and told this is the path you can follow. Not so with their brothers. So it means it's very difficult in this setting for women to shine, because even when they're doing great things, they'll be unacknowledged. If they're noticed, they'll be ignored, or the credit is taken by somebody else. You know that in the family setting, and in many, many places, women do great things. Women are the ones working in agriculture. But the money from agriculture is held by our brothers. Those who get the fame of working in that sector will mainly be the men, not the women. Even when there is a women's group in the rural areas, it is not unheard of to find a man becoming the treasurer of that group or coming to organize the women. The narrative is there are things we can't do, and sometimes we buy that narrative because it's what you have found happening, it's what happens. I actually hear women saying, and especially in the constituency I represented, that we are the neck, and the man is the head. I suppose the neck has no head, So we learn to give ourselves second place automatically. Even as our brothers, we'll also be insisting that our place is behind them, not in front of them. But there is one saving grace, the family setting. If a woman shows talent within the family setting, this narrative is broken without any effort, and in a majority of cases, the men in the family will rally behind this woman. And that is my story. That when I said I was going to vie, my dad, my brothers, none of them questioned. They actually appreciated the work that I had been doing. And my dad did not go like, how come it's you and not your brother? My brothers didn't go like, why you? While others outside were saying it can't be done by a woman, within the family setting, and they are not gender activists or women rights activists, it's just that I'm a family member. My father had invested in me. My brothers see me not as a woman, but as their sister. A woman, but their sister is what is in the forefront. And I believe in many settings, when a woman excels or is given a big job, her family will not question. The questioning will be outside. Can you imagine if we contextualized gender issues within the family setting? How easy then it would be for us to convince each other or to just accept that this is something we need to do. I saw recently when there was hullabaloo about an appointment of a senior lady. I will not go to names, but you can make a guess. And it kept on going in parliament like a circus. At that stage, and mind you, she was very qualified. She was becoming number one. They would always pick number 4. You see? Without any reason. And this is not the first time in our history. But at that stage, her larger family gathered around her. The family this time became the ethnic group. They started championing, you can't do this to us. This one must be appointed. And that family found support in the larger family in parliament, because when there is repeated injustice, people tend to see it and rise up. So her matter was taken up by everyone now. It became like everybody's case, a majority of the people, because of the injustice. So once in a while, even in this patriarchal setting, even in your communities, in our communities, you will see a case of injustice on the basis of gender taken up by the whole village. It's only that we forget soon thereafter, and we revert to the mode of relegating the woman. So it is my take that the work all these nominees have been doing is a contribution towards bringing women's participation and contribution to the fore, making it the norm, not the exception, and making it acceptable, so that if our work as women is not recognized today, is unvalued, is unappreciated, tomorrow our daughters and granddaughters will be appreciated alongside their brothers, and we can change the world. And sometimes it looks like such a big thing when you're told you can change the world. But each little step you take, added to the little step somebody else somewhere else is taking, is what changes the world. I actually thought about our very own late Nobel laureate, Wangari Maathai, the little thing. You remember there was that hashtag, my little thing. You're all here because of your little thing. Can you imagine if everybody was doing their little thing, standing in the gap wherever they are? We would be very far. And it has happened, and a lot of women, not just those in this room, are standing in the gap. And I thought about that disadvantaged woman in the slum of an urban place like Nairobi, or living in extreme poverty, even in the rural areas. the workers, everybody, and the professionals, because we have a lot of people raised in those unfortunate circumstances who end up in their own right being leaders. If you think about the toil of every woman, and I'm talking about every woman, because today is International Women's Day. It's the day we remember ourselves and the world remembers us. If we are unappreciated, this is the day. At least a few people will spare a thought about women. And if nobody does, let's spare a thought for ourselves. I think all those women are heroes in their own right. And you represent them. Your work has been noticed. It has been acknowledged. And if you're here as a nominee, and I'm not talking just about those who are going to be in the list of so many, if you're here as a nominee, the community around you appreciate your work. You couldn't have been noticed without the community around you recognizing your work. You are already a winner. You are already a person who motivates, a person who inspires. You are a leader because you've been able to mobilize those around you to do something positive and to rally behind the cause that you promote. So I'm also saying that we want to remind ourselves on a day like today to reach out to others. Reach out to other women and girls. Motivate them so that they too can shine. Because I talked of patriarchal setting. We are made to doubt ourselves. Can this be done? Because there will be voices telling you not by a woman. So let's affirm ourselves. You affirm yourself and you affirm the next person so that we can overcome the self-doubt. Because we know we can do it. We have seen others do it. And it's not just those of us who have gone to school. It's even those who've never seen the inside of a classroom. I always say that one woman who has had a very profound impact on me is my late paternal grandmother. She, a graduate of the social school. She never saw the inside of a classroom, but she was an accomplished woman. She always did what she felt in her was right. And the stories that she told me emboldened me. And I know each one of you have stories of your primary caregivers who are your local heroes. Because sometimes when we are asked, we say the women who are out there in the public sphere. But your first mentors will always be those who raised you. It could be a woman in the neighborhood. It could be the soft power of your mother. It could be a combination, your aunties. Today, let us celebrate all those women. Because without them, without people, we cannot be. We learn from them through interaction, through association with them. And we are here today to celebrate all women because women are nurturers. And without the nurturing role of women, we wouldn't have the next generation. So we are here to celebrate great work. And I want to laud Women in Red for coming up with this idea of celebrating women on a day like this. I therefore want to say, as whether you were nominated and whether you make it to the final list is not the issue. You have been recognized. So go forth, inspire others. Do what you do because you still have more to give. You have done a lot, that's why you've been recognized, but there is much more you can do. So let's go forth from here, strengthened by the knowledge that your work has been acknowledged and validated. Go and do more, and there are lots of needs in this world where we can do something useful that will change our world. I'm seeing in the program the issue of 2/3 gender rule is there. There's something each one of us can do about that. Talking to a member of parliament, you know, talking to somebody you know can influence them. I'm glad I'm seated next to Naisula. So I'm going to, I know she's already in it, but it doesn't matter. Even though you know she's active on that area, or he is active, mention it again to them so that we can move this thing forward. And the danger I see is not just about the political arena. The danger I see, once we accept not honoring one section of the Constitution, we are agreeing that we can rework the architecture. Today, it will be women in politics, the 2/3 gender rule. I don't know whether any of you saw in the newspapers that the army said they had no vacancies for women. How unconstitutional. The last recruitment, women were not being taken, and they had no places for them. We have not been told where our places are, because the Constitution in black and white says all slots, 1/3 must go to women. So it's not just about politics. The moment we sleep just a little, we are going to lose it all. There's so much we can do, and there's so much happening already. How can we harness our synergies, encourage one another? Not all of us will be able to do the same thing. But because there are so many things to be done, that we continue doing the things each one of us can do from the spaces that we occupy. We occupy different spaces. And I'm very, very impressed. The women we have been shown here, which is a sample of the women present, are women occupying diverse spaces. Girls occupying diverse spaces. And I'm really very impressed to see young girls nominated. Young girls coming here together with women to receive awards. Because we are emboldening these young girls. Tomorrow, there will be more than we have ever been. This is revolutionizing the world, and I once again say big up to Women in Red organization and to their sponsors. And I want to end by congratulating each one of you. Congratulating those who ended up on the nomination list and those who will make it to the finalist list. We are proud of you. Go out there and let the message be loud and clear that we are the best that God could have made. Because he made us with the experience of having made the man, you know? So we are a great version of God's creation, and there's nothing that we can't do. The world out there is waiting for us to step in, to do wonders, to make it more hospitable, to make it a better, more just, more equal world. I salute you all. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I think I'm motivated to believe that from now on, when I meet with Shafi, I'll be telling him, hey, I'm the better version. Don't even mess. I am the version. Because think about it, yeah? There's the prototype, and then the second version is better than the prototype. Yes, ladies. Men, don't worry. Men were in the room. We appreciate you. You are there before us so that we could be. Now, we are at that final stage where we need to actually get to our winners, who's walking away with what. And remember, each and every one of you who was nominated is already a winner, by virtue that somebody recognized you. Some of you, you don't even know who nominated you, and they chose to stay anonymous. That, for me, says big things, because it means that they just like the fact that you do what you do, and they want you to continue doing what it is that you do. So I'm going to call upon Josephine, and she's also going to call upon our chief guest to come up here. Or do you want me to do that? So I'm going to call Honorable Martha Karua. Please join us as we award these ladies. So you guys are going to stand on the stage, and I'll take you through the categories and the winners that we are here to award. They are all in envelopes. I don't know who's walking away with what, so we'll be finding out together, just in case you think I'm doing kipendeleo. Hiyo sifanyangi. Okay, so we're going to start with the first category, which is the category of the Rising Woman in Red under 20 years and just over 20 years. And in this category, we were searching for a young woman under the age of 20, a woman who is a leader and role model for girls and boys. And she has a personal project or is an active part of a larger project that encourages girls to think about the gender equality or to go beyond their supposed role in their local society. She breaks taboos by talking, educating about hard to talk about issues. You've heard the nominees. And the winner is under the age of 20, Halima Sadiq, 15 years of age. Congratulations. Please come up. Halima Sadiq, age 15. She's a great role model for girls and boys in her community in Kibera, Nairobi County. She's orphaned and lives with her grandfather. She's determined to achieve the best in life. She is the leader of groups of girls in a school called Tujijenge, where they discuss issues affecting teens. She's a great public speaker, and she is perfect in the debate club. Congratulations. And now for the winner, who is over 20. Give it up for Veronica Wangare Simba. Congratulations. Veronica is a student at Kenyatta University, where she is pursuing a Bachelor of Science in Recreation and Sports Management. She registered Ron Investment in 2013 after completing her Form 4 exams and receiving her national ID. She pre-qualified as a tenderer with Kirinyaga County, and she has had opportunities to become a supplier to the county. Her father encouraged her to pursue entrepreneurship, and she is passionate about getting to combine her interest in sports and start her own recreation center in the future. Congratulations.
Everybody loves a winner. Money by any means, God forgive me, I'm a sinner. And all the girls want hustle every day. Bye God, they bless my paper every day, day and night. Madam getting
now, in our second category, this is the 2/3 gender rule champions. This category is sought to identify female politicians who has the ordinary work for other women to run in that office. And the winner of this category is Honorable Rachel Kamweru. Congratulations. Honorable Kamweru is a nominated member of County Assembly and the chairperson of the Nairobi Women's MCA Caucus. She coordinated all the 47 MCA caucuses across Kenya to conduct a civic education campaign on the 2/3 gender rule across the country. She has also lobbied women to fight for their rights and dignity. She is also the founder of the Women MCA Caucus, which brings women from different political parties towards the aim of pushing the gender agenda in the County Assembly. Congratulations. The next category is the Male Champion for Women in Leadership. This is an amazing category. It seeks to identify a man who has made significant strides to promote women in leadership, or men who have always championed women's inclusion in leadership and supported them to the present. And the winner is Honorable Teddy Mwambire. Honorable Teddy Mwambire is a member of the County Assembly in Kilifi County. He is the Deputy Speaker of that assembly. He has a good track record of assisting women and girls in that community. He makes an extra effort to include girls in development projects. For example, accessing opportunities through the CDF to acquire driving licenses when only boys apply on those occasions. He has facilitated meetings with Boda Boda drivers to work towards making the community safer for girls. Congratulations. befitting song. My woman, my everything. Yes. Now, the fourth category is Women in War and Peace. This award goes to women and girls who are bridge builders, those who are peacemakers, and women who are in the armed forces. And the winner is Grace Loliom, all the way from Isiolo North. Karibu sana. Congratulations. Grace has defied stereotypes to become a member of the Turkana Council of Elders. As a peace builder, she works in a county which has significant challenges to peace and security, as well as immense resource potential. She has walked the fine line between being a woman from a conservative community and leading from in front as a peacemaker and community leader. Through Isiolo Gender Watch, she also champions and advocates for inclusion of women in the county leadership. Congratulations. Our fifth category is Women in Public Service. This award is for women in elected and nominated positions who have made noteworthy contributions to public discourse, legislature, and national policy in support of gender diversity in leadership. And the winner is Honorable Gertrude Mbeyu. Congratulations. Honorable Gertrude Mbeyu is passionate about addressing the needs of her constituents. She started her career in public service as an early childhood education teacher. After that, she decided to enter politics in her home ward of Kibarani in Kilifi County. She is the chairperson of the Scholarship Vocational Training Committee in the county. She tabled the bursary education bill in the county assembly. One of her main points is talking against early pregnancies and also the participation of school children in retrogressive cultural practices. She is one of a few elected women MCAs in Kilifi County. Congratulations. Round of applause. Now, our sixth category is the outstanding contribution to women's leadership via journalism. Women in Leadership via Journalism is an award to go to journalists who have created spaces and told compelling stories that make the world better aware of the leadership deficit and ways that women help build stronger leadership units. And the winner is Anne Njogu. Congratulations. Anne Njogu is the popular host of Tarabika. Yes. Okay. A mid-morning show on radio, Maisha. She has a listenership of over 1 million listeners per show, and she recently took on ground reporting of the stories from across the country of the Women in Red feature, a series of 10 portraits of women and girls across from Kenya who are making a significant representation in business, technology, agriculture, community affairs, and other areas where women are traditionally unrepresented. This feature was part of Anne's weekly show, which focuses on women every Wednesday. So she's part of this program. A round of applause. Congratulations, Anne. Our seventh category is the Lifetime Achievement Award. In this category, we are awarding women who have sacrificed, contributed, and promoted the inclusion of women in spaces where they have not been welcome and who are broadly recognized for their contributions. And the winner is Mary Mle. Congratulations, Mary. All the way from Pokot. Wow. Mary is a champion of girls' education and a reformer of warriors. She began her work in the 90s as a peace advocate and as a precursor to co-founding Rural Women Peace Link. She has been instrumental and consistent in the facilitation of conflict resolution activities between the Turkana and Pokot communities through mobilizing women. She has spearheaded a program for reformed warriors in her area and even converting some to become peace ambassadors. Mary is consistently nominated to lead women's groups, and she represents her community in forums such as the Kapachok Ward CDF Committee. She is one of the only 2 women appointed to special committees of 70 directed by the President Advisory to oversee peace efforts between the Pokot and Turkana communities. Congratulations, Mary Mle. Our 8th category today is that of the Outstanding Female Mentor. This award recognizes an individual who has mentored and guided individuals and groups into leadership positions. This person should have exhibited extraordinary leadership to increase the participation of women and girls in their communities and in official and unofficial leadership roles. And the winner of this category is Irene Kendi, all the way from Sonu. Irene, the first female leader to be elected as a vice chair of the student organization of Nairobi University in 2014-2015. Irene is passionate about mentoring young girls and women. In spite of being a wife and mother to a 6-year-old girl, Irene, who is popularly known as Mama Yao, is a vocal women's rights activist within the University of Nairobi and beyond. She was voted as most outstanding student leader in Africa by All Africa Students Union. She is the founder of the Kenya Female Student Leaders Association, which brings together young female students across the country, both current and former. She started mentoring initiatives for young girls, Chanua Wenzetu, and other young women, A Woman for a Woman. Congratulations to you. The 9th category of the day is Leader in the Land, Climate Change and Environment. This category is inspired by the work of Wangari Maathai, whose work and leadership in environmental stewardship, land rights, and civic education are outstanding, to say the least. These are examples of women who work to effectively steward natural resources and speak truth to power in defense of those resources and the people who depend on them, which is us, all of us here. And the winner of this category is Pamela Diho from Taita Taveta County. Pamela runs a social change project that works to increase environmental education in Taita Taveta to address lack of awareness on environmental conservation, for which she was competitively selected as an Akili Dada Fellow. The deforestation has resulted in loss of water catchment wetlands and endangerment of life. Pamela, who's not here, currently works with the Nature Kenya, the East Africa Natural History Society, as a site conservation officer, and she focuses on biodiversity monitoring, environmental education in schools, and community empowerment to participate in conservation work. She is a member of the Youth for Conservation and Undugu Mentoring Initiative, so she's receiving it in absentia. Anybody from Akili Dada can come and receive this for her, please. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Akili Dada. That one is to all of you, as she represents you. Our 10th category is the Outstanding Advocate for Marginalized Groups. Now, this award recognizes women who have made it their mission to move government, industry, or other key policymakers in support of the rights of the disadvantaged in society by speaking truth to power. They advocate for special interest groups such as orphans and vulnerable children, people living with HIV/AIDS, and other minorities. And the winner is Teresa Njoroge. Congratulations. Teresa is the founder of SIMS Africa, which stands for Support Me in My Shoes. She established the organization in response to the need for service programs for women in Kenyan prisons. Teresa was wrongly accused of a crime. However, she spent time in prison awaiting her eventual exoneration. Now acquitted of the offense, which brought her close range with the prison system, she tries to bring attention to the plight of women in prisons and raising the status of ex-prisoners who are often grossly stigmatized. She also advocates for prisoners' rights, raises awareness of their needs, and even runs a company that employs them upon release. Well done. This category, No Limits Breakthrough Leader, is recognizing women who are doing something traditionally considered out of place for a woman or traditionally reserved for men. She is recognized as a role model, such as a woman who has pursued and defied the limitations she found in the world. And the winner is Miriam Golo. Congratulations, Miriam. Miriam is a scientist and plant manager at Bamburi Cement, where she is one of the few female plant managers in Lafarge and the only female plant manager in Africa. Yes. She has risen in what is very heavily male-dominated, and as a plant manager, her concern is with the health and safety of all employees, contractors, and customers, ensuring the plant is operating at premium levels. All equipment is in order when production targets are being met. She also engages with community stakeholders, such as community leaders and politicians. She also dedicates her time to mentor and inspire young women looking to enter the science field. Congratulations. And now there's a special award. Now, we had run, I will speak on behalf of Josephine here and say that we ran a radio promotion, and this was with Radio Maisha, in which listeners called in to share stories of women and girls who are exemplary leaders. Our winner was selected by the radio listener for her leadership in the community. She then went ahead and campaigned for votes, and she got a large number of people to vote for her and emerged winner of an online poll. So right now, I need to invite Tom Japani, head of Radio Maisha, to come present this award. Is he here? Yes. Oh, is he represented by Mr. Ndiema? Thank you. Thank you so much. A round of applause for Honorable Martha Karua. So this is now what we are going to call the Listener's Choice Award, and it goes to Margaret Tawa. Congratulations, Margaret. Margaret went all out and got people to vote for her. Over 1 million Kenyans all over the country got to nominate her, and this award is of very, very high significance for her as founder of the Nyalunyu Development Community-Based Organization, which supports orphans and vulnerable children by enrolling them in kindergarten schools that provide basic knowledge to the entire public school. She was nominated and won by a landslide, as you have heard. Drawing on her wide network and strong community organizational skills, Margaret campaigned for herself among friends and colleagues on Facebook to bring home this win. Congratulations, Margaret. Last but not least, we wish to thank Dr. Jennifer Ria, who has served Women and Girls Lead Kenya in the Leadership Council. We appreciate her counsel and wish to present her with an appreciation award. Karibu sana, congratulations. And just to add, I discovered that she went to school with my mom, and she said that my mom was her mom in school and brought her up well, so I'm so proud of you, Dr. Ria, very, very proud. Congratulations. So there you go. You can give a round of applause to our winners. And just to remind you that we are all winners. We are all winners in our own different capacities. And even just by coming out here today, you are definitely a winner. I'd like to also recognize that we have some amazing women who are here from Akili Dada Scholars, Kenyan University Female Student Leaders. From across Africa, we actually have a representative from Nigeria, that is Sinimi Akinu Aina. If you can just wave where you are. We have, thank you for coming. We have Juliana Museo Mutuku, who's representing Akili Dada here in Kenya. Where are you? Are you somewhere here? There you go. We have our Leonide from Cameroon. I hope I said that right. Awa. Yes. Welcome and lovely to see you in Kenya. From Lesotho, we have Mfo Letima. Are you here? Thank you very much. Iben Nesu Kate, also from Nigeria, who's here. Lovely to have you among us. We have amazing people, as you can see here in Kenya. I hope you'll pass the word back home that we are trying to do great things as women, and it's lovely to host you. At this point, I'd like us to break. Okay, we won't break. We will go and serve lunch as we proceed and get ready for the Q&A session. This Q&A session is going to be from different questions that have been posted by various ladies. And if you yourself are sitting there and you have a question you'd like to share with us, please start putting down your question. We're going to have the Honorable Martha Karua, Angela Wamola. These are some of your speakers here. We're going to answer some of your questions so you can put them together. Right now, the 2 tables up in front here, the VIP tables, I'd like you to go and serve your lunch, upon which we will be calling the rest of the tables as we go along. Right now, DJ Andre is going to give us some powerful women music, female songs for us to listen to as that is going on, and be set up for the next session.
Women and Girls Lead Global believes in the power of sharing stories. Sharing stories of courageous women who refuse to accept status quo. That's why we curate and screen powerful documentaries made by some of the world's best filmmakers in villages, cities, and rural classrooms. We start discussions and create support groups. Women and Girls Lead Global provides safe spaces for people to be inspired by these stories and create solutions to problems in their own communities. We take a rallying cry and turn it into action. And we're just getting started. Women and Girls Lead Global puts docs to work for social change. Why? Because we know the power of storytelling. We know that it is unstoppable. Women and Girls Lead Global believes in the power of sharing stories. Sharing stories of courageous women who refuse to accept status quo. That's why we curate and screen powerful of the world's best filmmakers in villages, cities, and rural classrooms. We start discussions and create support groups. Women and Girls Lead Global provides safe spaces for people to be inspired by these stories and create solutions to problems in their own communities. We take a rallying cry and turn it into action. And we're just getting started. Women and Girls Global put docs to work for social change. Why? Because we know the power of storytelling. We know that her story is unstoppable. Sharing stories of courageous women who refuse to accept status quo. That's why we curate and screen powerful documentaries made by some of the world's best filmmakers in villages, cities, and rural classrooms. We start discussions and create support groups. Women and Girls Lead Global provides safe spaces for people to be inspired by these stories and create solutions to problems in their own communities. We take a rallying cry and turn it into action. And we're just getting started. Women and Girls Lead Global puts docs to work for social change. Why? Because we know the power of storytelling. We know that her story is unstoppable. Women and Girls Lead Global believes in the power of sharing stories. Sharing stories of curate and screen powerful documentaries made by some of the world's best filmmakers in villages, cities, and rural classrooms. We start discussions and create support groups. Women and Girls Lead Global provides safe spaces for people to be inspired by these stories and create solutions to problems in their own communities.
Sometimes, like, I get picked on at school, but I just tell myself, keep going, keep going. There could be more.
When you look into the reflection of your mirror, I want you to think about how you see yourself and not what everybody else thinks about you.
Right now, this is the beginning. We want to participate in politics, to be leaders. We want to be equal.
¿Y por qué no están estudiando? ¿Qué es eso?
What Catalina's doing is very important. I mean, you can't walk 2 steps without seeing a pregnant child. It's pretty remarkable.
The shuttle's launching and it shakes and it rattles until the solid rocket boosters come out. I remember having this huge grin on my face because I was doing exactly what I wanted to do.
well, sometimes like I get picked on at school, but I just tell myself, keep going, keep going. There could be more.
When you look into the reflection of your mirror, I want you to think about how you see yourself and not what everybody else thinks about you.
Right now, this is the beginning. We want to participate in politics, to be leaders. We want to be equal.
¿Y por qué no están estudiando? ¿Qué es eso?
What Catalina's doing is very important. I mean, you can't walk 2 steps without seeing a pregnant child. It's pretty remarkable.
The shuttle is launching and it shakes and it rattles until the solid rocket boosters come out. I remember having this huge grin on my face because I was doing exactly what I wanted to do.
Well, sometimes like I get picked on at school, but I just tell myself, keep going, keep going. There could be more.
When you look into the reflection of your mirror, I want you to think about how you see yourself and not what everybody else thinks about you.
Right now, this is the beginning. We want to participate in politics, to be leaders. We want to be equal.
¿Y por qué no están estudiando? ¿Qué es eso?
What Catalina's doing is very important. I mean, you can't walk 2 steps without seeing a pregnant child. It's pretty remarkable.
The shuttle is launching and it shakes and it rattles until the solid rocket boosters come out. I remember having this huge grin on my face because I was doing exactly what I wanted to do.
Well, sometimes like I get picked on at school, but I just tell myself, keep going, keep going. There could be more.
When you look look into the reflection of your mirror, I want you to think about how you see yourself and not what everybody else thinks about you.
Right now, this is the beginning. We want to participate in politics, to be leaders. We want to be equal.
Our lovely ladies of Akilidada are students at the university who have received lots of leadership and mentorship talks over the years. They know the right questions to ask, but it's not about the right questions. It's just about knowing more and getting to know one another a little bit more.
Hi everyone, my name is Josephine Omondi, and my question goes to Honorable Martha Karua. I have always admired you and everything that you have done as a leader, and your passion towards the girl child. My question is, what are some of the challenges you have been facing throughout all yes, everything that you have been doing, the challenges, and how you have tackled them to stand out and be where you are right now? Thank you.
Well, thank you for that question. It's very, very wide because it means my entire life. But I think that women face challenges that are similar in a way. Because as a girl child, as you grow, even when you're choosing careers, somebody will jump in to tell you which careers favor women. You'll be told which careers favor men. And I'm sure it has not gone even now. If it happened to us more than 20 years ago, I know it's happening to young girls and women even now. And then the way people, view women. You rise up to leadership, people are doubting whether you are serious when you say you want a certain post. Whether it's, I'm sure even at the university, these young ladies who are here are asked the same questions. When their male counterparts rise up, it is expected of them, they are applauded. But a woman will always be told, are you sure? Can you make it? So people plant self-doubt in you. So one of the problems you face is battling with that negative narrative of what you can and cannot do. And you have to keep on affirming yourself, saying this is what I want, this is what I must do. And one has to be careful not to let other people define you, because that narrative is supposed to define who you are. What the society or culture has determined is the place of a woman, is the way a woman would behave. If you're very vocal, like I've been very vocal, and I do stand my ground, then you are seen as a rebel. It's not good. I saw somebody who wrote an article yesterday saying Wangari Maathai was not a good woman. So I opened, please don't complain yet. I opened to see what they talked. It's good in quotes. For you to be a good woman, you should be what society expects you to be. If you're slapped, you turn the other cheek. If someone comes to you with aggression, you go with smiles and almost kneeling down. You're not supposed to react as a human being because your reaction, your role has been predetermined. I'm as human as they come. So there's a day I'm going to be angry and very angry at what you have done to me. And I'll tackle you just like anybody else tackles a person who has annoyed them. There's a day I'll be laughing and happy with everybody because that's the way the day is. And I'm not going to pretend to be who I am not. And I'm not going to agree to be told you can't do this. When I said I was running, before I even said I was running for office, I was an activist as a young lawyer. I started as a magistrate. As a magistrate, I had my own administrative fights because someone wanted to question the things I was doing and to suggest to me how to do my job. You know, for a judge, you can't tell them what to do. They are guided by the law, and if you do something wrong, someone should go on appeal. So even the senior judge in the station cannot direct you. They have to wait for you to make your mistakes, and then it goes on appeal. I resisted that, and I was labeled rebel. Then I go to private practice as an advocate, and I start getting active on the law society politics and on national politics. And the question used to be, what does this woman want? I think Margarita Gachero can remember those days. My colleagues were never questioned, the men, because it's a man's thing to speak out on political issues. But this little girl, what does she want? There's nothing I wanted other than my country to be better. I stuck in there because that's what I wanted to do. And eventually I ran for office. And when I was said I was running, I was asked, are you sure? There are those who thought running for parliament first time was too much. It's not like today when there are several women who have run. I was told to begin with that in Central they don't elect women. I can just give my name so that I become known. And I told them I was not there to be known. I was there to be elected, and I was going to be elected. So the first thing is to know what you want, what your heart truly wants. Stick to it and work hard. Don't listen to every naysayer. Listen to your inner voice. And they say your inner voice is the voice of God. Take time. Search your heart. What do you want? And I always have the view. If I try and I don't make it, like I tried the presidency and I didn't make it, and I'll still try again, at least I'll have the satisfaction of having tried. You know, I remember when I was choosing law, we had a career master who used to be very discouraging. She told us that in Kenya, those days, only 40 people were being admitted to law. So she asked me, do you think you're among the top 40 brains in Kenya? You know that is intimidating in a way you can cancel. But me with my tongue, I told her, my dear Mrs. X, I will not say the name, if every career master is doing what you are doing to us, I'll be the only law applicant in Kenya, and I'll be accepted. So I led a rebellion, and our class, 5 people applied. Guess what? We were all taken. We were the next big class after Alliance Boys. This was Nairobi Girls. These days it's more Nairobi Girls. Alliance had 8, we were 5. Other schools had 1 or 0. You see, had we listened to the naysayer, and she wasn't being bad, it's the way society has taught her, isn't it? So she was doing her job the way she knew best. But her best was not my best. So my dear daughter, judging from the age, that's almost my grandchild, but my daughter. But I want to tell you that follow your heart. But nothing comes easy. Work hard. You'll stumble. You may not fall. If you fall, just wake up, dust yourself, and continue going. Don't listen to those catcalls and start turning. Otherwise, you'll become Lot's wife. Just walk on, and you will get there. And I'm still walking because life is a journey. And we must get there as women to the place where our humanity will not be doubted. Because why should one doubt whether women deserve this or that? Isn't our humanity being doubted? We want to be at a place where our humanity is not being doubted. And I want to salute the men who are walking this journey with us, because the steps we have taken, we cannot take without the men. We walk hand in hand. And I told you my story, how I have backing at home of my father, of my brothers, of very many friends. So even though some men will not listen to us, there are also some women who are not for women being included. They think we are seeking unnecessary favors. They don't see the years of marginalization. So let's have this conversation in the family and go to the happy place where we can accept each other, that we need to give each other space. Thank you. That's the long version.
Thank you so much. You can hold on to that, but maybe Violet Otindo, you can grab that mic. Remember, we are live streaming, so there are people who are listening to us and watching us across the web. So Violet, maybe as a finalist, you can just tell us a little bit about your difficulties, you know, some of the things that you can touch on to where you've reached. We've gotten a nice long version. You can give us a nice, neat, tight version before we ask the next question. She's running out. She'll be right back. So, yeah, Violet, some of the difficulties you have faced thus far, maybe you can share with those who are live streaming before we get to the next question.
Thank you, Kalechi. What I would say, being a woman is a beautiful thing. Well, some would think that you'll get to where you are because of just being a woman. It's not an easy journey. Personally, when I did my college studies first, because I got a diploma first in mass communication. When I went into college, I was excited because I know I was bent forward to prove to my dad that, because he had insisted that I need to go to university and study education. But I told him that my passion lay in radio broadcast. Actually, I wanted to do radio broadcast, though I'm doing TV now. So he told me that I need to prove myself that I was able to do that. But 3 years down the line, when I had finished my diploma course, I was not able to get a job, just like my colleagues who I had studied with, because one, I only set foot first in Nairobi when I was coming to college. I had no idea which way was railways, which way was Kencom, so I was still trying to find my way. So it was very difficult actually getting a job. But I think the passion within me, having a passion for what you do can really drive you. I remember I continued looking for jobs over a long period of time. I went to various stations, but I was not able to get a job. But I was doing it on the side, just doing small things, trying to link up, sometimes volunteering, on doing even camera work, things that I had not studied for at the time. So I was going out of my way. And I think one of my colleagues who was ahead of me in college recognized this and was able to call me to be able to join one of the stations that was starting at the time. And I think at the time, it wasn't easy because being a woman, mostly at the time when I was joining media, it was dominated by men. I mean, from the editor to most of the reporters. So actually having your story make it even to the last point of the bulletin was not as easy. But I had a few mentors, I would say, that would encourage me, just tell me that you need to wake up one more time. But one of the things that really inspired me to keep doing what I do is that I got to understand what I wanted to do, and that was telling the stories of the marginalized, telling the stories of the people down at the villages, and that is what I stuck with. Having a focus in what you do can really make you get to where you are, because now I was able to create a niche for myself. Currently, even in the newsroom, when you come to our office and you talk anything health, they'll tell you only Violet can handle that. So that is very important, creating a niche. But it's not been easy. You have to go out of your way. Sometimes you have to work long hours. You have to attend meetings late. And that has made me drop or lose so many friends along the way. But that has not deterred me, because I know my focus is greater than just friends who cannot be with you when you're rising up. So another thing that has enabled me overcome my challenges, especially in the newsroom, is knowing yourself. I'm also the chairperson of an organization of journalists. We have a mentorship program where we mentor young and upcoming journalists. One of the things I always encourage young girls is that you'll get to the newsroom, for instance. Men, well, forgive me all the men that are here, they'd want to maybe take you to bed, talk to you and promise you, give you empty promises that you'll get a job. But at the end of the day, with the experience, you find, well, he doesn't even have a position or have the power to give you a job. So if you keep the focus and just do everything right and follow your heart, you'll definitely make it.
Thank you so much, Violet. And it's true, I can attest to that, having been in the industry long, and people keep asking me, how did you get to be there? I want to be you. And nobody ever stops to think that when I graduated, it took me 5 years to set foot into a radio station. 5 years of knowing what I wanted, but it took me so long to get there, but I didn't give up. So that now brings us to the next question. But before that, let me just thank Commissioner Winfred Lichuma for stepping up to sit in as Honorable Martha Karua takes a moment out. And this question, the person wishes to remain anonymous, but she's in her 20s, and it's in the communication world. So I'm going to ask Angela Wamola to take this question. And the girl says, for a young woman who doesn't know what their purpose is, she says, disclaimer, she has a slight idea, but how do you go about finding out what your little thing is? What's your thing? Is there any way you can give your experience on how you found out that you wanted to be in this world of communication? How did you get there? What did you do?
Okay, so my background is technology. So I love all things passionate about technology and using it to transform lives. So it's not for itself, but for transforming the Kenya that we live in. So for me, you know, I kind of like live by what Steve Jobs said. He said that you never connect the dots looking forward. You connect those dots looking backwards. So it means that the little things that you do count. You might not see it where you are right now in terms of how it pieces together the puzzle of your story when you're trying to write your story in this journey of your life that you're living. But it does matter. And therefore, you have to go with your spirit. That which you are born with, which is in you, will tell you and guide you to do the things that matter. And it's all about the things that matter. Because with life and with the different phases of life, you can't have everything. When you're young, you have all the time and all the energy, but you don't have the money. And then when you go into your adulthood, you have all the money and all the energy, you just don't have the time. And then you go into old age. You now have all the money and all the time, but you don't have the energy. So it means per time, do what counts for you. That in your gut that tells you this is right. So for me, even if I was an E student in my mathematics, I had no idea. Because you just logged out and you don't understand these things. But it was an attitude thing. And I said, I can do all things. I can. So I changed my attitude. And I decided to do the most extreme thing. Because it was interesting to me. I just didn't understand it. But it was interesting. So I went with an interest. Physics. I couldn't understand that. I was a D student. I was an E student in mathematics. But I loved to understand how things work. And that was my gut feel. I went for it. And I loved it. And then I went and did engineering. And you enter the engineering room and you're only 6 girls out of 60. And from the minute you enter, you're told you're not supposed to be here. You're in the wrong place. I think you need to walk down the corridor. There are other places where you should be. But then again, I realized, hang on a minute. I'm supposed to be here. And I went with my gut. Because I said, these guys, if they knew what they were doing, they wouldn't be here, right? So we're all here to learn. And so I won't be discounted because of how I look or where I'm supposed to be according to you, what your version of me is. I know me. There is no other person in this world who was born me. So I need to make the decisions that are for me. They might not be the right ones, but if I go with what is in my gut at that point in time, I think going forward, I might connect the dot for where that is supposed to be. And so I've used that sort of path to create my journey to take me to where I was and where I am. So I've been in the technology industry for 15 years. It's been a journey. You keep on trying to be you, even when you're surrounded by men in this field. But I don't discount that I'm supposed to be there. And I know I'm going somewhere. I have visions for Kenya. I have visions for, we are going to go places. We're going to be the hub of Africa. We're going to transform lives. But I have to sit at that table where those decisions are being made. So my advice to you is go with your gut. If you're supposed to be there, sit there and open your mouth and partake of what is at that table. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Angela. That's like the best message I've had in a long time. Kume, my gut is not wrong. Hey, you go gut. Keep trusting in who you feel you should be and don't give up on that. That's a good message. So this next question, Commissioner Winfred, I think you can take this one. So this is another anonymous question. And it says, for me, my mother is a male chauvinist, and I have always been on the other end. Coming as a second option, my opinion was never counted. But today, as a young woman, a leader in that case, I have stood up to fight many times. And my question is, how far is too far as a woman in terms of fighting for equality? How far is too far?
Okay, thank you. A very interesting question. But one I think we all can answer differently. But from where I sit, having been privileged to chair the National Gender and Equality Commission, that gets to talk to all the women leadership in this country, that gets to look at the experiences women are going through, and being a Kenyan, being born from a patriarchal society, and growing in a similar situation where, due to patriarchy, our grandparents, our mothers, taught us that women must be submissive. So you all grew up knowing this is what men are supposed to be, and this is what women are supposed to be. So how far can you take your fight? For me, I think, taking from what my sister has said, take your fight as far as it can take you. If you know the right thing you want, there should be no limitations. I get encouraged because now, like, we had one bright young girl here who is using football. And we know when we went to school, those of you of my age and beyond, football was supposed to be for men. But now you're getting those careers that initially closed doors for women, now opening up for women. Likewise for the men. I grew up in a village where if my father found my brothers in the kitchen, they would be beaten because the kitchen was a place for a woman. Now, take the example of just this facility. If they would allow us to go into their kitchen to find out how many men are cooking, it's amazing that you would find maybe out of 20 men, if they were, you would find maybe 1 or 2 women. So how far can you go? Go the farthest your desires can take you. What a man can do, a woman can do better. And now come back to our political representation. When we're looking at the ended Millennium Development Goals, the Beijing Platform of Action, the 12 critical areas that we all needed to look at, the one that was never delivered by almost the whole world is the one of women political representation. And coming back to Kenya, you find while the Constitution says we need to have 1/3 of women representation, the reality is different. Mheshimiwa Martha has just walked away, and I'm happy she still has the desire to run again. The farthest she wants to go is to lead the country, and nothing stops her. But when you then choose how you get there, I think that is what should be the question. How do you get there? She will require support from both men and women to get there. But if you do not go to the market to sell your potatoes, nobody will know you have the potatoes.
Correct.
That you are selling. So for me, I think for the women is come out with your potatoes, take them to the market, and sell. That is the farthest you can go. Thank
Well
you.
put, well put. Thank you so much, Commissioner Winfred. Yes, you can clap for her. That was powerful, right? We just have a few more minutes, so if you have a question and you have put it down on a card, please raise your hand. I'll come around to pick it. This next question is directed to Violet. The media industry is filled up with quacks, and females are known to have strict decisions. Supposing you are selected to be a leader of a media council, what changes would you bring? And you have said you're part of one, so maybe you can tell us what changes you would bring there to encompass everyone. Because like we have heard, not only does it take women, it also includes men, but the scales, of course, should be balanced. So maybe you can tell us how you would do that.
Thank you, Kalechi. And allow me to just speak a little bit from what the commissioner has said. I was talking to one of the participants yesterday, and I was trying to complain, kind of. Sometimes you do a story as a journalist, especially if it's in the rural areas or marginalized communities, and you go home really, really beaten, and you're wondering, did I really do anything? So what after I did this story? And then she was telling me, as a leader and somebody trying to bring change, you can only do what you're doing to the very best, and that is the best you can do. The next, or whatever else will be done by the next person. What you need to do as a person is that do whatever you're doing to the very best. And when the next person does what they are doing to the very best, then collectively we'll bring the change that we need. Now back to Kaleche's question. As a woman leader, what would I do differently? I think for a while, the media industry, like I said before, has been dominated a lot by men, but this is slowly changing. But I would like change to begin from the institutions that are training journalists. For instance, in the US and other developed countries, we have a lot of specialization beginning from the colleges. For instance, I would say as a person who was brought up in the village, I think I took a lot of time finding my way because I didn't have a focus or somebody to focus me. If at the college level we had careers or some direction, like if I want to be an environmental reporter, then I can do that from college and just perfect my art at that level. Then by the time I'm getting into the newsroom, if I'm I am a developmental reporter, then I will perfect my art from the word go. So that is one of the changes that I would like to do, because sometimes, like I said, given that the media houses or newsrooms are dominated by men, you find that sometimes the male leaders, and it's not their fault, they've been brought up like that only men can do political reporting better. But you find there's this lady who has that urge to do that. But if they were put on the same platform, maybe at the college level, when they come to the newsroom, they are on the same playground, then I think it will give equal opportunities to the ladies. But also another thing that I would like to see in the media houses happen is that women taking leadership in the newsrooms. For instance, you find that for a while, perhaps we've not had many mentors or women in media taking leadership role. But I'm happy. There have been several women appointed by the president in leadership roles to sit on the boards. I think now our girls will have mentees or mentors to look up to. If we can have many women take up leadership roles, and this can only happen perhaps through trainings, through having workshops such as this, and bring in women, young, regardless of their age, just to mingle and see that they can become leaders. So sometimes in the newsrooms, we fear to take the positions or take the lead, because I'm thinking some promotions, well, they come through the papers, but some should be self-initiative. If we can encourage women in media just to go out of their way, do what their male counterparts are doing, then I think we can be at par and they can get to editorial positions. I think it was Mheshimiwa Karua who was saying that we need to have many stories coming up on women, girls, but this can only happen if we have women in the leadership, in top management, in media houses. So those are some of the things that I think need to change, and can only change if we start seeing more women, and even the well or seasoned journalists, women journalists, mentoring other young journalists to take up these positions.
Yeah, thank you, Violet. We are running out of time, and we are on a tight schedule, but thank you so much, our speakers, because you've handled some of the questions in the room. If your question hasn't been handled, please do pass it over, and we will be doing that online. Remember to follow at Women in the Red on Twitter, get Women Girls Lead, so that's the Twitter handle, hashtag Women in the Red, and we'll be able to get back to you with the answers. And to our live cast, as much as we would love to keep you on, we know that you have been with us through this, and we appreciate you for having joined us to make sure that you can enjoy the process, get to see who our winners are for the day. And thank you so much from wherever you are watching us across the world, across Kenya. We love you, and keep the spirit up. Women in Red, Women Lead. We must do the same every single day. Thank you, our live cast. To the rest of you, we're not completely done, but first I'd like to release our speakers. Can we have a round of applause for Angela Wamola, Commissioner Winfred Lechuma, and our finalist, Violet Otindo. Thank you so much. And now I will hand back over to Josephine, who will be able to give us a few closing remarks of the day.
All right. Thank you so much, Kaleche. One, I think we received one question which was a message to us. And it says, first we take, this is from the Kenya University, Female Student Leaders Association, whose members are represented here. And I think they echo your own words. I'm going to read their words. These are their words. First, I take this opportunity to thank Women and Girls Lead Global and
por qué no están estudiando? ¿Qué es eso?
What Catalina's doing is very important. I mean, you can't walk 2 steps without seeing a pregnant child. It's pretty remarkable.
The shuttle's launching and it shakes and it rattles until the solid rocket boosters come out. I remember having this huge grin on my face because I was doing exactly what I wanted to do.
Now, some 24 hours after gunmen went on a shooting spree in the Moorebank community of Winwood Road in East Kingston, residents remain on edge. 5 persons were shot, 2 fatally. Dara Smith reports on the incident, which has brought tension. Described as usually peaceful.
Wait, no, young boy, my car. No, young boy, I'm a car. Daddy. Better aim next time. Original strong man come when we walk the place down straight. Everybody ball out fit straight. Everybody ball out fit straight.
The leaders of the 2 main political parties receive lots of media attention as they step out confidently to cast their votes.
The JLP leader and Prime Minister Andrew Holness visited the Mona High School shortly after 8 this morning to cast his ballot. He was stopped by an outdoor agent and then proceeded to the polling station.
Thanks. Alright, Mama, thanks. Alright, Papa, thanks. Auntie Coolie, what happened?
I'm no doctor, I'm no nurse.
No, but what was I supposed to do?
What happened?
I'm fine.
How him could wear this color shirt on a day like today?
sure.
Who did this?
Bunch of kids.
Soon come back.
No, man.
I can't. We need the money.
You mean they need the money? Have you told them that we're leaving?
I will. I'll do it soon.
Go home, Blossom. Back to Kingston. We're safe.
Boss man, I go down, Papa. May I have seats now? Come on.
Bag juice. Bag juice, Papa.
Mommy, I got down. Nice lady, I go down. So you tell me, say now go down, nice lady.
Pretty girl. Morning.
Yeah, go down, Mama.
Come on, pretty girl. You don't like it when we eh?
Call me by my name. Trevor. Are you just so stupid you can't remember? Papa, you go down? May I have seat for you now, Papa?
That. Bag juice driver. Hi. No youth man in my car. Organize the safety. Bag juice. Pretty girl. You need a man to fix you up right. Bag juice.
which has shown the PMC having a lead over the GLP at this time. So is folks that don't understand concerned at all about this? I put that question to him. This was his response.
Not unconcerned by any means. I mean, when we see something, we look everything. We take note of what.
What?
Just never seen a
Yeah? Well, you get used to it.